Growing Up with Toxic Family, Part 23. Now, we ended Part 22 with my sister doing what she do. Now, after everything she was going through financially, I'm in prison. She continued to go out her way and do things for my children. Anytime I called and talked to her, she was always telling me about what she had done for my children. Now, every time we talked or she told me about what she was doing for them, she always had a negative story about what their mother was or was not doing. All the time. And I didn't think too much of it. But one day I talked to her and she had my niece on the phone with her. And she was going in on my children's mother in front of my niece. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Because for her to say something to me, I'm just thinking of it as though she informing me on what's going on. But now that she said it in front of my niece like this, it's like, hold on. She kind of out of line here. But she kept on. Now my problem again is, I know all the stories that she done said about my niece, Tanya, who was on the phone. So she talked about Tanya all them years, but now she on the phone with her and us, and she's talking about my children's mother like a dog. The same way she did Tanya when she wasn't around. But this is what she does. It ain't out the ordinary. She'll talk to me today like everything is everything and get off the phone with me and go tell 5, 10 other people negative stories about me. That's what she do. Now, throughout the time I was in prison off and on, she kept doing things for them. Whether it was Christmas toys, clothes, whatever the case. And she always told me what she done. So, when I get out of prison, I'm grateful. I was grateful while she was doing it. I'm out. I'm grateful now. My children, they was grateful. Their mother was grateful for what she had done. So, she looked like she was somebody. She had done a great deed. You know, looking out for them. That's how I looked at it. She had done something, a good deed. And everybody else did. Now, here's the problem. I started noticing. Every time I look around, I'm hearing this story about what she did for my children. Over and over again. I'm hearing it from her. I'm hearing it from people she know, other people she done told. This went on for years. And on many occasions, I've been on the phone talking to her and she'll be like, yeah, I raised them kids. And every time that would rub me the wrong way. And she did it often. Now, all this going on and I really ain't paying much mind to it, but I'm hearing it. When I come to Detroit, moved to Detroit in 2016, now I'm hearing this on a regular basis. It don't matter what's happening. Every time I look around, I'm hearing this story. How she took care of them while I was in prison. What she done for them. All she done. And many times I'm face to face with her. Sometimes it's other people around. And she just out of nowhere be like, yeah, I raised them children. And you know, it's really rubbing me the wrong way now. Because it's like she throwing it in my face. So, a few years ago, I said, you know what, I'm so tired of hearing this. What I'm gonna do, because I was in a good place. I had different streams of income, money saved up. I said, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put together her a nice little package of money. And I'm gonna give it to her. And say, hey, this for what you done for my children while I was in prison. I don't wanna hear you say nothing else about it. But she kept talking. And there was so many people talking about what she done. But at the same time, she had all these other stories she was telling about me to all these different people. And all of them was talking. And now I'm starting to analyze how they was in a position for her to slide in like she was a savior. Well, damn. See, when you start analyzing the truth about what happened, she stole my checks for many years. And then she stole all the money in the bank accounts I was supposed to get. All the stuff we went through was a domino effect. It put me in a situation that I felt like I had to do what I had to do. Being 18 in that house with no heat, I was supposed to get this money that my mother left me, and she took it all, and we stuck here with no heat. Well, that was the reason I went out here and started selling drugs. I'm selling drugs, I end up going to prison. So that means, had she not stole the money, it's a good chance I wouldn't have never went to prison. And if I don't go to prison, they don't need her to come over there trying to do stuff for them. So here it is, this is a situation she created, and then she stepped in like she's the savior. I took care of them. I raised them. I gave them all of this and all of that. I did. But why she do it? Why she do it? See, because in her own mind, she already had a guilty conscience before I went to prison. It was a guilty conscience that sent her out of way, even though she didn't even have money to do stuff for them. She knew in her own mind, had she not stole all the money, they wouldn't be in that situation. But for her to have the nerve to sit up and talk about it like she did, knowing she the one created the situation in the first place. But see, here's the thing. Do you know the whole time while she was going over there doing stuff, remember I just said how she would be on the phone with me when she do stuff for them and then talk about their mother like a dog. And what was she doing? See, she was tearing their mother down and elevating herself. Something she been doing for years now. Same thing, every time she gets somebody something, whether they need it or not. You see, but at the same time, when she got off the phone with me, she would be telling everybody else negative stories about me and their mother. Yeah, you think about that. The whole time. See, the way I even found this out, because my youngest son, he said when he was a little boy, anytime she come around and she want to take them to her house, which she did many times, even keeping my youngest my daughter for the summer. But guess what she did while they was around? She on the phone constantly, telling people negative stories about me and their mother, and telling everybody about all the things that she's doing for them. Again, tearing us down and making her look like this great savior. But see, here's the thing. You gotta question, what negative could she be telling people about me? Mind you, she was not around me but a very little time between the time when I turned 18 to the time I went to prison. So what possibly could she be telling people about me? You see, she was going back to when I was the 15-year-old kid. We was at my mother's house struggling. She was getting my check. She telling them how the water got turned off. She telling them stories of how we didn't have food at times. She telling them the story of how when I turned 18 and we was living in the house with no heat in the middle of winter. But she ain't telling them how she stole my check all them years. And when I turned 18, she stole all the money that was in the bank accounts. My son said every time he was at my sister's house, she on the phone telling people negative stories about us, talking about us like dogs. Anytime somebody came over to visit her while they was there, she's sitting right in front of them, talking about us like dogs. But she ain't tell nobody how she stole the money and caused the situation to happen in the first place. And you got the nerve to sit up here for over 20 years and still tell these stories. Lies. And it sound good, baby. All of it. Yeah, I did for them kids. I raised them kids. Yeah, it sound real good. See, everybody she know, she done told these stories to. Anybody she done came in contact with over the last 20 years have heard the story about what she did for my children. And they done heard the story of how bad of parents we was because of what we was going through. See, even her own children. I remember some years ago, there was a situation going on with my children at her house. And her daughter, her youngest daughter, spoke up. She was like, yeah, I remember all my mother was doing for them. I even had to sacrifice my Christmas gifts that I wanted because she told me she had to buy stuff for them. So, see, here's the thing. That all looks good, okay? When you don't know the truth. See, her daughter don't know, her youngest daughter don't know the truth because when they start stealing the money, she wasn't even born yet. You see, and then when she was born, she was so young, she didn't really see them living their best life. She caught the end of it. You see, she seen the karma behind it. She seen my sister's guilty conscience that caused her to go and go out her way to do things for my children, sacrificing, getting things for her own child. That's what she seen. But see, let me ask you this. How many Christmases did my children sacrifice from the money she stole from me? How many birthdays, school clothes, how many meals did they sacrifice for her stealing this money? Think about it. Everything they experience from the time they was born. Every negative thing they had to deal with was a result, a domino effect of this woman stealing this money. Think about that. See, all these years, it's been, oh man, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. 34 years. "34 years since I turned 18. I ain't never spoke about it. I ain't never even thought about it. So why am I being faced with people coming at me about what happened to me, what I went through? Because she want to tell the story like she the hero. She ain't no damn hero. She the damn villain of the story. We got all these years of lies. Well, see, the truth is on the scene now. The truth is here. It's out. Now what? Ain't nobody playing no more games. All she had to do was shut up. Be quiet. Not say nothing. She been the hero all these years. She had to stop talking 2 years ago about this. She would still be the hero. She had to stop talking last year about this. She would still be the hero. But she wouldn't stop. And it ain't just this she talking about. She's sitting there with my children, telling them a long list of lies about me. How you thought you gonna sit with somebody's children and they ain't coming back and tell them what you said? See, you know, you really gotta be some kind of fool to do all this that you done and to sit around here, man, for all these years talking about it, what you done. And then you paint the picture of me being the villain and you the hero. You know, it's a hell of a thing, you know, when you analyze the situation. You gotta ask why. Why? Well, that's what I asked myself a year ago. Why? I asked my youngest son, man, why all these people coming against me? Why they got so many stories about me? They don't even know me. Well, see, everybody was hearing the stories coming from Trisha. She painted this picture of me being a villain, a liar, a petty thief, a child molester. Yeah, she said it all. You thought I was gonna keep sitting back, listening to all this, and I ain't gonna respond? see you so foolish. All these people, you think because somebody being a bigger person and they look over you when you say something, you don't even know what you're talking about. You go back, yeah, I said this to him and he ain't even say nothing. Well, hell, I ain't say nothing, damn it, because the shit you was talking about didn't affect me. Because you listening to a lie. But this is what was going on. These ain't young people. You got people 40, 50, and 60 doing this. Like what the? So here we are. Growing up with toxic family. 23. We got growing up with toxic family 24 coming. And we still got years and years of this. It ain't over with. You wanted to talk? Well, here we are. We talking now. Ain't no more lies.